Good morning. Uh, Spirit called me here this morning to talk about divine masculine, divine feminine, or just masculine, feminine as it is. Um, I can only speak so far, obviously, for the feminine. But I found, as a masculine, that everyone hates men. Even men hate men. And it's really easy for a masculine energy to go from high vibing to the smallest thing drops us into decay, into a really low vibrational state. And that's an interesting concept, right? Since men are the I don't want to say evolutionary, but in the process of evolution, as we see it, every baby is feminine, and so being a male ends up being the missing piece, capstone, the only thing that was needed to create more life, to have a balance. And so feminines are naturally grounded to the earth and have, even in DNA, mitochondrial DNA is passed down by the mothers, all the way back to the very first mother on earth. As a man, we can think, we passed on our name, big deal. Oh, got my eyes, got this, got that. But in the end, a child will believe anything that anyone tells them. Things like, oh, well, your dad's this, or everyone hates men. It's to the point where men only hang out with other men who they subconsciously feel are lower than them. Even if they appear higher, it's only because in some ways they despise the person. But they want to gain something. In most cases, I find. So one of the most difficult things is waking up every day. It doesn't matter how much money you got, how much whatever you got. You're still the littlest piece, the yod. If you don't have anything, nobody wants you. If you have stuff, everybody wants you, just so they can take it from you. Waking up every day, wondering what's the purpose of life. That's why traditionally it's always been a lot easier to run into a hail of bullets and hope you don't make it. At least send what's left of you home. And then you could die by your own hand, doing something courageous. Seemingly. Rather than to keep getting raped by society, by our families. Because as soon as one becomes a provider, in my experience, then everybody just drops their bags and goes, hey, you good? We're home. Keep it going, keep it going. I'm bored with you. Moving on. Taking half, That's some bullshit, ain't it? Women can delight in your children and more naturally and in creativity and better use of their words. And we're workhorses. We're dogs. We're slaves. That's a pretty scary. This is a pretty scary truth, right? It doesn't matter how many degrees you got, how much you got. Nobody cares about you if you're a guy. If you got boobs, you'll never probably have to ever sleep on the streets unless you're, I don't know. I don't know. I've seen, yeah. There's just something magical. You got boobs and you can walk in about anywhere and just act flirtatious and you can get what you need. As a man, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Ever. And if it does, that's when you know you're in trouble. Because they're all out for you. It's funny. It's a funny side thing that women are like, well, once a guy has that one thing, then he doesn't need you anymore. But that's half of the story, because once a woman has you providing for her, she's just going to keep that going, whether she needs you or not. And she'll have whatever she wants on the side while you're at work. Ain't that scary, right? So, this conversation's about male insecurity. How does a man prop himself up? On nothing. With the whole world against him. No matter who he is. Say, well, it has a lot to do with my wife. Until she changes her mind. Ain't that challenging, right? Because they never changed their mind until after they got you hook, line, and sinker. There's a fear and a truth in the world. And that's why, as a male, we can't throw ourselves at a woman, just keep her around. They ain't gonna do you any good. Buying her stuff. Yeah, it's nice. But if she's a strong woman, she can buy her for herself. A man is the best accessory a woman can have. A good one. And yet I see so many terrible marriages. Honestly, in my life, I've seen very few that were very positive. The ones that worked out, they both gave up and settled at some point for the kids. That's an excuse. That shows, in one way, two people that didn't allow themselves to be found completely before they married. And so then you have two, let's say 66% people, and you put them together, and all of a sudden, even though there's extra, because we got 66 and 66, hey, that's more than 100%. And all of a sudden it starts waning down, so together they only have 80%. And that's not very positive, right? I'm waking up every day wondering, wow, how do I get myself? How do I keep everybody from taking advantage of me? What can I build that's going to last? Who's going to care about me? And why? Why would they care about me? Of course, it's a lot easier to go into a game. Of course, it's a lot easier to go get intoxicated with our buds. Or just get wasted by ourselves. Because who's there to turn to? In my experience, there's nobody. But we still keep going. 9:59. Well, since we're here, I just wanted to have that little conversation. So it's very difficult for us guys to ever find a place of balance. Also, because women tend to be able to have more leisure time. This, of course, this is circumstantial evidence. But we don't have a period in our lives where anybody just showers us with gifts just because of what we have inside. No, nobody cares. The only time anybody cares is if you look like you're following all the rules and you're prime for getting ripped off. You just got that promotion and all this stuff, and then next week the company goes under, or they cut back, or somebody in the office doesn't like you and puts in some kind of sexual harassment report, and it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Oh, we can't have this. You're done. Women get benefit of the doubt. Men do not. Men don't have a support system in this world. And all the ones that have been made prior work to a small degree. And yet, in that same way, that's been a detriment to the world too. Especially when it's about the male and the female within us being separated, and being separated from our wives, because apparently secrets are the only thing that can keep anybody together. As long as you have something to hang over everybody's head, then you might be able to survive. Like you got your finger on that nuke button, or you got the remote in your pocket. You're like, well, you're leaving. That's fine. That's fine. You know what? I didn't put your name on anything. You can go. You can take your bags. Or whatever, Oh, you thought you were going to take half. Well, yeah, you don't know. I hid most of the money and it doesn't exist. So you're leaving with nothing, Why does it always have to be some kind of bullshit prank? But that's how I've personally felt that women do men. It's always a game of emotional entrapment in order for resources and manipulation. Like, not being able to plan a baby. What kind of woman wouldn't want to plan a baby together? But it never works that way. Very rarely. It's silly. Here we are. Here we are talking about being a man in this world. We got rid of Cassia, patron saint of impossible causes. I am miraculous. My prayers create powerful channels of possibility. All right, Maria, please guide us in this impossible venture where there are no guides. Nobody knows. Nobody can tell us what to do. Everybody's waiting for the man to tell everybody what to do. And when the man's not telling everybody what to do, everybody's going to be tearing down the house, and he's going to be the one that has to pay the bills. But as soon as she speaks up, everybody's gonna say, "Fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna just go stay at my friend's house." Mom said. She's gonna say, "Well, they're your kids. Maybe you should do something about it. If they don't like it, they'll come to me, and we'll leave together. How about that?" Yeah, that sounds pretty sweet. That sounds like loving kindness to there, don't it? All right, well, read of impossible causes if we get retreat. Retreat. Retreat means withholding from what can harm you as a way to keep yourself whole. When you retreat, you hide yourself away so that you won't lose yourself. In offering no resistance and creating no friction, retreating bears fruit in small and conspicuous ways. What must you do to stay safe and whole? How can you change your relationships so they support your integrity? Right. Very, very powerful things to think about. Creating success. Constancy yields a small harvest. Retreat. It's interesting, right? How a retreat can be running away from the battlefield, and a retreat is a way that you can go onto the spiritual battlefield and get away from the world to strengthen. Like in arguments, disagreements, retreat's not a shameful thing. If it's done appropriately, if it's done with kind and calm wisdom, it's just under control. See, the hardest thing, right, is if you're trying to put the simmer on the situation, you're like, okay, let's step away. Oh, you ain't telling me what to do. I'm going to stay on your ass until I can get the police called, because I'll make myself run into the wall and say you did it. You know? Don't tell me what to do. That's what I found in relationships. Even trying to be the peacemaker. I guess it shows the wrong kind of people, right? It sucks having things repeat. No matter where you go, no matter how tall, how short, the color of her hair, no matter what her background is, no matter what her parents do. I personally have not found in my relationship life a woman that is not in this same sort of fashion of a man is just a cup to drink and smash that mazel tov. Call the cleaners to come get him off the floor. It's very painful being a guy. And I'm not speaking for the feminines right now because, well, it's not my place. I'm just speaking from my own experience of what's wrong with femininity. She gives us 2 more. Shit, look at these 3s. We got 33, 53, and 63. So the next one I saw was already across. Nice bounce. 3 times bounce. You've committed yourself to a transition, even if the change so far is internal. Everything is in place. Creating success in small ways, attend to details, working with what you've already decided or achieved. Don't lose your path by feeling as if you've arrived already and stop progress. Arrived? Arrived where? Keep your momentum, keep on beginning. What is decided, what is now? Feels like life is just from here, it feels like life is just a constant conveyor belt. Just sitting on a pile of imaginary gold. The same imaginary pile of gold everybody's looking for, but you can't find. And just rolling on by. Just stuck with ourselves. Ain't nobody on the same path. They're all ghosts. That's just a scary truth that one can feel. Creating success, constancy yields a small harvest. Beginnings, good fortune. Endings, and chaos. Right. Later on today, I said yesterday that I'd probably do an I Ching read with the coins. See, one thing I found between the cards and the coins book, they're a little different. Even some of the numbers are completely different. I guess it depends on who wrote the book, right? When it comes down to it, it doesn't really matter too much because it's about what happens in the moment. That's a funny trick, right? And see, right there is a logic fallacy trick that's been put into our world, where as long as everybody, as you can reference it and make it so that everybody you bring up agrees with you after the fact, or you have the thought and then you go search, okay, who has this idea? Oh yeah, see, thousands of people have seen it. It's true. Okay, well, but what about the millions that have a different viewpoint? And this is what science is based upon, especially their scientific papers. You have to have references. But when it comes down to it, there is no first reference. The first reference is that guy. He split everybody right down the middle, over backwards and all the way around. Very dangerous character he is, let me tell you. We got 53 gradual progress. We got retreat, already crossed, gradual progress. Bonds develop gradually, organically, as raw emotional energies are channeled into lasting relationships. We grow into life's possibilities and evolve in our relationships. This yields results gradually, provided you have the patience to stay loyal to the destination as the journey unfolds. What is evolving here? How can you be more patient? I don't know how personally, here's my ego. I don't know how I could be more freaking patient. I've been lost, but I've been completely found in the abyss, not knowing where to turn for years. And I still don't know a goddamn thing. For all I can show, all I can teach, I don't have a soul in the world I can rely on. Unless they feel like it. Only because they need to. I don't know. So, the front of it says, the woman marries. Good fortune. Constancy bears fruit. It's interesting. These are all Saturn-like cards. Since Saturn is the governor of the harvest. We have yields a small harvest, yields a small harvest, bears fruit. And of course, it comes back down to a woman. But man's not really worth anything to a woman unless he's got some sense of himself. Whatever the hell that means, right? Oh gosh. That was interesting this morning. The diary. Can't make this shit up. Pulled 2 healing cards right in a row. When I was thinking exactly about healing at the time. One day at a time. See, we can't run away from us guys. Well, anybody, but I'm talking masculines today. We can't just run away from our bad habits either. It really has to, it's a process. You gotta downgrade. You gotta think about it. You gotta structure. And ultimately, the funny thing is about spirituality and about the truths of nature. There ain't no structure, but there is. Yeah, it's an invisible structure. Once you start building one, like a schedule, then shit starts getting in the way. What's a sign? Rita gives a sign for helping us masculines in our lifelong need for security. And only finding it for a few minutes at a time in a woman's arms. When that big check hits the account, that feeling lasts a couple minutes. Then, man, now everybody's gonna want me to do something. Fuck. I've been called to paint later today. Since I don't have anybody else, I might as well paint with everyone here. I mean, they have a channel called Light. You can watch Doja Cat paint for 45 minutes in silence, just listening to music. Hell, why not me? Maybe should show you how I put on my makeup every morning. How I do my daily self-care. We got the 29th. That's a day. Creativity. The 5th house. Fifth house. That's Leo. Right? The first time in any of these I mentioned Yod, which is the apostrophe in the Hebrew alphabet. 48. Yod. Destiny. Creativity and destiny, huh? Right. And we got the 2nd house. That'd be Taurus. I do believe. Oh shit. E pluribus unum. Annuit coeptus. Novus ordo seclorum. Owning. The capstone, right? Well, what is it to own? What is there to teach? Good question, right? And the things that we love to do. But In finding ourselves, we lose a lot of that. It stifles our inner child at the same time as it makes our mind more creative, but analytic. And ties together all the connections. Any more structure, but then it seems like there's less directions to go. See, where Uranus is about change and revolution and wild creativity, like a Jackson Pollock, like a Picasso, and Salvador Dali. And Saturn's like, all right, we're doing a spreadsheet. How many people are in this house? All right. How many people have brown eyes? All right. And what kind of benefits do brown eyes give people? Or what kind of characteristics do people with brown eyes typically have? Structure. Everything has to make sense. And Uranus says, it makes sense. Fuck it. Moving on. And that's a hell of a balance, right? Because you got to do both. Somehow. Oh boy. I wake up most mornings wondering why the hell I would open my eyes. I can tell the truth. For all the God's given me, it doesn't make me feel any better. So, if anybody thinks, wow, you're so blessed. Bullshit. You would have died at mile marker 10 back there. Where you circumference the Earth 4 times. Big fucking deal. Lady Rita, possible causes. Give us some insight. Beyond owning our destiny with creativity. Let's see, before I even look at those. So destiny and fate are some weird concepts, and everyone has their own ways to see it. But it always has this weird question of, okay, so if everything's meant to happen, then what the hell does my choice make? And what does believing in something do to help it when all the things I believed in the past all failed? And the only things that were impossible were the only things that came together to make sense. Okay, what the fuck do you do with that? I don't know. Oh, I misspoke in my last card reading. The one with the blue lady. It was Gemini and Cancer. And I said it was Pisces. I don't know why I was. See, it's weird because it always confuses me. And I always forget. I don't know why. Pisces is the curved H. But it's 2 fish in a bowl. And the symbol for Cancer is a 69, like two fish in a bowl, right? They made everything pretty confusing, huh? Busted it all up. Cancer? Yeah, you'll get Cancer when you get to Pisces. If you know what I'm saying. Then you know, yeah, Sir can your ass pretty quick, can he? Out of the blue. Well, she gave us 4. All in very, very light colors. All right. She tells us to focus on our vision. Everything begins as a dream. Planning for the future with imagination and projecting ideals. Right. We had Aquarius and Gemini. Right. Which, those are 2 interesting symbols to put together because Gemini is 2 minds. In one way to see it is I plus I. But, yeah. So how can you be on both sides of the mind and against everybody if you're holding everybody's viewpoints on both sides? See, this is why the joke, even from the Gemini friend I've had, everybody hates Geminis. But that sounds like that's ego. That's ego professing its ego and choosing to be ego. And the ego evolves on its own. It always smashes. It's always kicking its own ass everywhere it goes. And then Aquarius, we got 2 water signs. But when the hidden truth behind that is each water sign is actually double water. So you have 4 water, 2 on top, 2 on the bottom. And so you say, oh, 2 water, that's fire. Or 2 water, is that fire? And 2 water, that's fire. And 2 fire, is that water? Or do we stack it the other way? Is 2 water equals earth. And 2 water equals earth. And we have 2 earth, and that equals fire. Or is opposite of earth, air. Or, Aquarius. What's the answer? Ain't no goddamn answer, I'll tell you that much. What will be, will be. But, apparently, we all play a part in our destiny and fate. Though, it seems like, especially once we get to the point where we can look at our own astrological signs, and if we can understand the unspoken, unwritten word, we find that everybody we met in our life, and the days that things happened when we were completely blind and innocent, it was like we were being led along on a leash. And then once you get unleashed, and you're like, oh, it's clear as day now, okay. And then boom, you can't go anywhere. Everybody stops in your tracks. That's pretty weird, don't you think? We got receptivity. It's how another advice she gives us today. Who talks little hears better. Willingness to receive new suggestions or ideas, listening to input. That's what I've been spending the last bit of my life doing. And only now am I speaking, really, for whatever purpose it serves. You decide. Here we're at Aquarius and Leo. There's 2 Leo, 2 Aquarius. We got Taurus here. We got 5. She has 5. All right, we got demonstration. The proof is in the pudding. giving proof or evidence, corroboration, or assertions with empirical substance. Right. Which is interesting because this is showing in two different ways. If the proof is in the pudding, then why would you have to prove anything? And so you have to tie in things together to show that things agree and put the elements together so that anybody can see the truth for themselves. More than just going, this is how it is. Like it or not, it's true. Period. That's what my playlists are. You listen to every word of every one of those songs in the order, there ain't no way you couldn't come to some similar conclusions. There ain't no way. That's why the world's been broken up. So you might never get it. We're just trying to speed up the process, or, I don't know, do whatever the divine consigned us to look like a jackass better than anybody else for, or worse than anybody else, or to do, well, whatever the hell this is. We got Virgo here and Pisces. The 6th and 12th house in that one. That's 666. Hey, I became a master mason a long time ago. On 612 myself. We stopped at the doorway though. Destiny just needed us to go that far and not go any further, because the first 3 steps are all anyone needs. Yeah, if one's going to proceed in that direction. All right, 4. She says, focus on our instincts. Trust your gut. Natural propensity, inner drive or impulse, intuitive sixth sense. And that's what I was just saying, how it's 666. Now we got sixth sense. And another Aquarius card with Aries. A lot of water or fire. And fifthly, we have synergy. A problem shared is a trouble halved. Right. That's why we've been doing this work. And sharing is taking on what everyone else has thought, putting it all together, proving we've listened to it, reordering it, letting it reveal what there is to be revealed, betting ourselves so there can be balance. We can work on the same problems from a higher perspective. Once we get past some of the simpler parts where everyone gets stuck. Interaction of 2 or more working agents, working mutuals towards a goal. Here we got another Gemini and Scorpio. Synergy. Beautiful. Well, I guess that's all I have for now. You ready for the day?